Chapter 24. The Retreat as a Gateway to Investment. The Wellness Retreat is not only a place of rest and transformation, it is also the entry point into a living system, a functioning demonstration of an economy built on stewardship. Because guests are able to experience this system firsthand, the retreat naturally becomes one of the most effective environments for recruiting supporters, investors, and long-term partners. Rather than approaching fundraising through conventional marketing or pressure-driven appeals, asking people to believe in an abstract idea, the retreat allows investors to step inside a functioning example of the system. They can see how food is grown, how resources are shared, how work is organized, and how the community supports those who are rebuilding their lives. By this design, the retreat serves as the front door to the entire network, an environment where visitors can experience the principles of stewardship, shared livelihood, and community resilience before deciding whether and how they wish to participate in its expansion. This approach aligns with the deeper philosophy of the Village Network. Meaningful support arises most naturally from understanding and connection. The structure of the retreat experience itself is therefore designed to help guests understand the value of what they are participating in and to invite them into deeper levels of support. The first step begins before guests even arrive. In the retreat's advertising and orientation materials, potential visitors are shown how similar wellness retreats are priced in the broader marketplace. Many high-end retreats range from several $1,000s to well over $10,000 per week, depending on the location, the caliber of practitioners, and the exclusivity of the experience. This comparison serves an important psychological purpose. By seeing what other retreats offer and what they charge, guests establish a clear reference point for value. Alongside these comparisons, the retreat presents a description of what it offers: an immersive healing environment, regenerative technology, advanced cellular renewal protocols, direct access to nature, carefully prepared meals grown on the land, group practices designed to cultivate connection, and participation in a living community devoted to recovery, growth, and service. The intention is not to compete through luxury or exclusivity alone, but to highlight a key distinction. While many retreats offer relaxation and wellness services, this retreat offers participation in a meaningful ecosystem that is actively rebuilding lives and communities. This comparison anchors the perceived value of the retreat experience while preparing guests to understand the deeper purpose behind it. The second step invites guests into a deeper understanding of how the retreat operates. Rather than hiding the economics behind the experience, the retreat provides a transparent breakdown of the costs required to operate the program. This transparency allows the retreat to explain one of its most important structural advantages: vertical integration. Much of the cost associated with conventional retreats comes from supply chains and outside services. Food is purchased from distributors, energy is purchased from utilities. Practitioners and staff are hired at market rates. Each step introduces additional layers of markup. Within the Village Network, many of these costs are dramatically reduced because the community produces and maintains much of what it uses. Food is grown on site. Medicinal plants are cultivated in the gardens. Renewable energy systems generate electricity. Water systems are managed locally. Buildings and infrastructure are maintained by the members of the community themselves. The labor required to sustain these systems is not unpaid. Rather, it is supported through a needs-based livelihood structure in which community members receive housing, food, healthcare, childcare, and education as part of belonging to the village. Instead of earning wages to purchase survival needs individually, those needs are secured collectively. This explanation helps guests understand why the cost of operating the retreat can be significantly lower than comparable programs while still maintaining a very high level of care and service. Lower operating costs do not mean the experience itself is of lower value. In fact, the retreat is designed to provide an experience comparable to, or even exceeding, that of other high-end programs. Because the community produces many of its own resources through vertical integration, Actual operating expenses are reduced. With the use of the shadow valuation system, the market value of the retreat can be presented in comparison to show how the design of the village economy creates a larger surplus margin than a typical retreat would generate at the same market price. Rather than being extracted as private profit, this surplus becomes a powerful tool for impact. Guests begin to see that their contribution does more than pay for a personal wellness experience. It helps sustain the community that makes the retreat possible and allows additional resources to flow toward programs that rebuild lives and strengthen the village network. This transparency also introduces the deeper economic philosophy of the community. Resources circulate internally to support people, projects, and long-term resilience rather than flowing outward through layers of profit extraction. During the early phase of the network's development, a large portion of this surplus will be directed toward repaying the initial investments that made the Stewardship Village network possible. As those commitments are fulfilled, the community gains increasing freedom to redirect these resources toward expanding new villages, supporting recovery programs, and deepening its mission of stewardship. The result is an economic model in which personal transformation and social impact reinforce one another, allowing every guest contribution to ripple outward through the entire village network. Once guests understand both the market value of similar retreats and the actual operating costs of the program, they are presented with an unusual opportunity. Rather than charging a fixed price, the retreat allows guests to decide the value of their experience. This approach accomplishes several things at once. It preserves transparency and opens the door for contributions that may exceed the cost of the retreat itself. Many visitors discover that the experience they receive, combined with the knowledge of how their support will be used, naturally inspires generosity. Once guests are immersed in the retreat and have formed relationships with members of the community, they are invited to explore additional ways to contribute. One opportunity allows guests to sponsor someone to attend a rehabilitative retreat who would otherwise be unable to attend. Many individuals who could benefit from the healing environment of the village retreat are not in a financial position to participate. They may be recovering from addiction following a medical injury. They may be navigating severe postpartum depression. They may have inherited a genetic predisposition to mental illness that has made it difficult to maintain stability in conventional environments. They are not looking to apply for membership in the community where these services are provided freely, but they have financial constraints that prohibit their accessing the services available to high-paying guests. Through the Pay It Forward program, privileged retreat guests are able to sponsor one or more individuals from a waiting list who are seeking the opportunity to experience the rehabilitation program and begin a process of recovery. Guests are introduced to these individuals through short video interviews that share their stories and the challenges they have faced. They are also able to see video testimonies from people who have already experienced transformation through the program and within the community. For those who choose to sponsor a participant, the experience does not end with the donation. Sponsors receive a personal message of gratitude from the individual they supported and periodic updates about their progress and recovery. In this way, guests are able to witness the tangible impact of their contribution. For many donors, this direct connection will become one of the most meaningful aspects of the retreat experience. A second opportunity invites guests to contribute to specific projects within the village network. Communities are fertile environments for creativity and innovation. Members may develop new agricultural methods, healing modalities, educational programs, rehabilitation modalities, or technologies that improve the efficiency and sustainability of the village. Some of these ideas require modest startup funding to test and implement. Guests may choose to support a particular initiative that resonates with them. This might include funding a research study exploring new approaches to mental health and recovery. It might involve supporting the development of a new piece of infrastructure that strengthens the resilience of the village. It might enable a community member to bring a promising invention or process into practical use. By contributing to specific projects, donors become partners in the evolution of the community itself. The final opportunity is designed for guests who feel inspired to support the expansion of the model on a larger scale. The vision of the village network is not limited to a single location. As the community grows and stabilizes, new sites must be developed to allow the system to expand while preserving the healthy social scale of each village. Establishing new locations requires land, infrastructure, and initial capital investment. Guests who wish to play a larger role in the mission are invited to participate as founding investors in the creation of future villages. Through these investments, donors help establish new centers where the principles of shared livelihood, recovery, stewardship, and community resilience can take root. Each new village becomes both a home for its members and a demonstration site where visitors can experience a different approach to organizing human life. Traditional fundraising often relies on persuasion. The retreat model relies on experience. Visitors do not have to imagine what the community might become. They are able to walk the land, share meals with its members, hear the stories of recovery and renewal, and see the systems that sustain it in operation. When people witness the functioning of a system that aligns with their deepest values, many naturally feel moved to help strengthen and expand it. By design, the retreat becomes more than a wellness destination. It becomes a gateway into stewardship, inviting each guest to decide how deeply they wish to participate in the growth of the village network.